Nag-iisa at nakatatak ang kauna-unahang himpilan sa paghahatid ng serbisyo publiko at balita. Ito ang Radio Mindanao Networks. Higit 6 na dekada sa paglilingkod sa masang Pilipino. Sa Metro Manila, ito ang Dzxl 558 Radyo Trabaho, ang inyong gabay sa hanap buhay. Bayanihan laban sa COVID-19. Dzxl 558 Radyo Trabaho Special Coverage.
Mga kasama, diretso po tayo dyan sa Malacanang. Kasalukuyang may virtual press conference kasama si Secretary Harry Roque at nandyan na sa linya po natin ngayon si Dzxl Radyoman 4 Angel Ronquillo. Jengo Hijeng.
Yes, Radyoman, Rod, na nagpapatuloy nga yung virtual press con ni Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque. Kasama din niya dito itong si National Task Force Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez, as well as itong si TESDA Director General Isidro La Peña. Mga kasama, pakinggan natin ang press con.
Immigration watch list at maglabas ng whole departure order laban sa mga opisyal ng PhilHealth na isinasangkot sa malawakang korupsyon sa loob ng ahensya. Hiniling din niya na maglabas ng legal authorization ng DOJ at NBI para ma-secure ang mga files at computers sa PhilHealth na maaring magamit na ebidensya sa mga akusado. Posible daw kasi na magkaroon ng pag-delete sa mga files, pag-recover sa electronic trail at pagsira sa mga ebidensya.
100% in agreement. Magaling po talaga itong si Congresswoman BH. Next question from Tricia Terada, please, CNN Philippines.
Good afternoon po sa inyo, Secretary. Sir, just a further clarification about the reduced physical distancing, because in an interview, Interior Secretary Eduardo Añez said that the new social distancing rule, which took effect on Monday, was not approved by the IATF. Sir, we'd like to ask for clarification about this. Hindi po ba talaga ito naaprubahan ng IATF? Because, sir, I remember in the IATF Resolution 69 and 70, hindi nga rin po ito nakapaloob.
What was approved was increased transportation, no? Ang ibibigay natin sa ating mga kababayan dahil nga po nagbubukas tayo ng ekonomiya. Yung detalye po, iniwan natin sa mga lead agencies gaya ng DOTR. Bagamat ako po, umattend po ako ng meeting na yon, narinig po yan, yung pagbabawas sa social distancing pagdating sa publikong transportasyon na naaprubahan po dahil diniscuss po yan dun sa IATF meeting at hindi naman po tumutol ang DOH. Pero gaya ng aking sinabi po kahapon na rin, no? Pag-uusapan po ngayong hapon yan sa IATF meeting dahil hindi naman po pwedeng baliwalain ang mga sinasabi ng mga medical frontliners sa panahon ng pandemya.
Secretary, will there be at least a move to suspend this ongoing new physical distancing rule? And sir, sabay ko na rin, kasi kung ang goal po is to accommodate more commuters, may nag-raise din po ba sa IATF na dagdagan na lang instead yung mga ruta for public transport, na bakit daw po hindi ito yung gawin instead of reducing the distance? And finally, may aasahan daw po ba tayo na resolution tonight?
Meron pong magkakaroon po ng resolution dyan. Kung wala talagang resolution, the President will decide. And I think that was very clear yesterday, no? I myself told the President that I was taking a middle ground on this issue, knowing na importante talaga na magkaroon ng additional transportation para mabuksan ng ekonomiya, and observing na wala ngang objection yung DOH during the IATF meeting, although Secretary Duque was not present in that meeting. Pero at the same time, tingnan po natin yung datos na ipapakita ng mga medical frontliners at ikukumpira rin natin to sa ibang mga pag-aaral na ginagawa sa buong daigdig, dahil hindi lang naman po tayong merong mass transport system, no? Halos lahat po ng bansa sa daigdig meron, pero parang tayo lang po ang nag-impose ng 1 meter distancing sa mga mass transportation modes, no? So magkakaroon po yan ng resolution, and although we don't have a regular press briefing tomorrow, as soon as the meeting ends, I will issue a statement kung ano pong napagkasunduan pagdating dito sa mass transportation.
Secretary, last question na po tungkol naman po dun sa naging findings ng task force, initial findings ng task force PhilHealth. So nabanggit nga po dun yung recommendation to strongly admonish yung PhilHealth chairman, that Secretary Duque,
And the board.
members of the board.
Yes.
Secretary, ito po bang negligence nila? Isn't it somehow tantamount to incompetence na kumbaga it got past them, all these things got past them?
I can only quote the report. There was negligence, somehow mitigated, nabawasan, no? Dahil nga po, tinatago naman ng Execom yung mga katotohanan sa mga miyembro ng board.
Salamat po, Secretary.
Maraming salamat, Trish. Going back to Yusek Rocky, please.
Secretary from MJ Blanca Flor of Tribune.net.ph. It's been 6 months since the government imposed varying quarantine classifications. How will you assess the country's response to COVID-19? Ano po ang gradong ibibigay nyo sa ating pandemic response?
I don't know if I can give a grade, no? Kasi ang tinuro ko sa UP, international law at constitutional law, no? So I'm not used to giving grades. However, we'd like to highlight that number one, yun nga po, no? Yung expectations ng mga dalubhasa, mga mathematicians na aabot na tayo dapat ng 3 million nung buwan pa ng Hunyo, hindi po nangyari yan. Pangalawa po, mababa po ang ating case mortality rate. It is only at 1.7 at yan naman po ang importante kapag may pandemya, dapat pangalagaan ang karapatang mabuhay ng mga mamamayan. At pangatlo po, yung ating health system hindi po overwhelmed. 50% pa nga po ang available capacity ng ating ICU beds, ng ating ICU wards at ng ating mga hospital rooms at 76% o 74% ang available ventilators pa natin. So all in all, I think we deserve a very good grade. I would give it a grade of 85%.
In our four strategies, testing, tracing, isolation, and treatment, what should be improved? What are our strengths and weaknesses?
We clearly have the best testing policy in the whole of Asia and probably in the whole world because we have exceeded 3 million, no? And as a percentage of total population, ano na po yan, no? Lubos-lubusan na yan dun sa sinasabi nilang 3%, no? Na dapat matest ang population. At patuloy pa po tayo, no? So dadami po tayo. And I think we will have the highest number of testing, one of the highest in the whole world. So that's clearly our biggest strength. We need to brush up po on our tracing at ngayong na-approve na po ang Bayanihan 2 and we will have 5 billion allotted for additional tracers. Tingin ko po, we will have major inroads and successes using also the Magalong formula na kailan lang naman pong natalaga bilang tracing SAR. Kinakailangan din po natin na mas marami pang mga isolation facilities kung ipatutupad po natin yung gusto mangyari nga po ni Secretary Anyo na wala na talagang mag-home quarantine. One limitation of course is we don't have enough isolation facilities so dapat mas marami pang isolation facilities ang ating itayo. Pagdating naman po sa treatment, I think the fact that 1.7% lang po ang case mortality rate proves that Filipino doctors know how to take care of COVID patients now. So alam na po natin yung mga gamot na available, Remdesivir, Avigan, tapos may contribution pa tayo, ang virgin coconut oil, ang tawa-tawa, ang lagundi, at alam na po natin na mas nakakabuting gamitin yung high flow oxygen cannula kesa sa mga ventilators.
Opo, ang susunod yung tanong, how will the government address criticisms that health experts and medical groups are not consulted in drafting policies being implemented? Is Secretary Duque still in charge of the IATF, which serves as the policy-making body of our pandemic response?
Wala pong katotohanan yan. Ang DOH pa rin po ang tumatayong lead agency sa IATF. Pinangungunahan po ng isang doktor, si Dr. Duque. Bukod pa po dyan, ang ating epidemiologist ay si Dr. Wong at ang ating mga USEC po, lahat ay doktor. Si USEC Vergere, si USEC Tong-an, si USEC Vega, at saka si USEC yung sa classification. Lilibeth, si Yusek Lilibeth, siya po yung nagbibigay sa atin ng guidance pagdating dun sa classification na ipapataw sa iba't ibang lugar. Wala pong hindi doktor ang nagbibigay ng pulisiya pagdating po sa COVID. Siyempre po, tumutulong po ang lahat, no? Because we're employing the one nation approach pagdating dito sa pandemyang ito. Thank you. Now we go to Melo Acuña, please.
Good afternoon, Secretary. Hindi ko narinig kung anong bansa yung gustong humingi ng down payment. Bagaman sinabi ng Pangulo na yung Russia at yung China, baka pwede pang magpautang. Ano po kaya mga bansa yun?
Sinabi po niya kahapon Western.
Would we be more specific?
Hindi po niya sinabi, so I cannot be more specific. Western countries.
Okay, but Secretary, there's another issue because I came upon the budget proposal for the Department of Health for next year. From 181 billion this year, nabawasan po ito at naging 128, pero tumaas po yung budget ng DPWH at ng Department of Transportation. Ano po kaya ang logic dito?
Well, kasi po yung mga isolation facilities, yung mga hospital, nakapaloob po yan sa budget ng DPWH. Kaya nga po ginawa nating isolation SAR si Secretary Villar. No? So lahat po yung mga additional bed capacity, hindi naman po yan pumapasok sa budget ng Department of Health. Yan po ay public infrastructure spending pa rin sa ilalim po ng Department of Public Works and Highways. Now sa transportasyon po, hindi ko po alam ang detalye, no? So I cannot answer you right away. Pero alam naman po natin na habang nagbubukas ang ekonomiya, dapat mas importante ang papel ng transportasyon dahil hindi makakapunta ng trabaho ang mga manggagawa kung walang public transportation. At alam po natin na at 16.5 contraction, talagang malala po ang problema natin sa ekonomiya, kaya dapat gawin ang lahat para mabuhay muli at makabangon ang ating ekonomiya.
Opo. Para po sa ating mga kasama sa TESDA, may tanong lamang po ako.
Secretary La Peña.
Secretary La Peña, magandang tanghali po sa inyo. Nakapagsanay na po kayo ng mga OFW na umuwi. Ano po kaya ang kinabukasan naghihintay sa kanila? Ano pong trabaho ang in demand sa labas at sa loob ng Pilipinas? At meron na po kayang nakapasok ng trabaho matapos magsanay sa inyo? Salamat po.
Well, maraming salamat sa katanungan po ninyo. At present, meron tayong mga 73,000 OFWs at saka mga dependents nila who have enrolled and graduated in TESDA's skills training programs. Kasama na po dyan yung training sa TESDA's online program natin. At yung mga trabaho po na in need ngayon ay mga yung sa agriculture, construction, IT, BPM, health and wellness, logistics and marketing also. At yung aming survey na yung mga nagtre-train po sa amin ay we have a 85% employability rate. So more likely, our OFWs that were trained are either employed or they have their own businesses or livelihood po. And we continue to train our OFWs as stated earlier na meron kaming online na TESDA apps for registration and for enrollment. And then kung meron pong mga nakaregister na dyan, our regional offices at saka mga provincial officers namin reach out to them para makausap sila kung ano yung mga interest nila, anong skills yung gusto nilang mga ma-train. At saka after that, they will be helped na magkaroon po ng trabaho. Ang TESDA po kapag nag-train, it should result to a job or a livelihood after. So ganun po ang ginagawa ng TESDA sa ating mga kababayan.
Nabanggit po kasi ng Asian Development Bank kanina sa kanilang economic briefing na bababa pa ang ating growth rate by 7.3% hanggang sa pagtatapos ng taon bago makabawi next year. Pero ano po kaya ang impact nito sa employability ng mga nasanay ninyong mga OFW at mga Pilipinong naghahanap ng trabaho?
Well, tama po yan because of the slowdown ng economic activities natin. That's why ang pinagtutunan namin ng importansya are on the dito po sa agriculture field. Kaya kasi sa agriculture field, that is a continuing training, at saka ang demand po diyan ay dumadami rin because of the food security, as well as construction din po. And then pati na rin itong IT BPM natin, because of the shift from the traditional learning system to blended or to a flexible learning modality po. So these are the three, yung mga nangunguna na mga trabaho na pwedeng ma-applyan ng ating mga kababayan during this time na medyo nagkakahirapan ang yung mga ibang mga employment opportunities.
Salamat po. Salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Secretary Harry.
Sec.
Salamat.
We go back to you, Sec Rocky, please.
Opo. Secretary, from Jillian Cortez ng Business World, basahin ko na lang din po yung tanong niya. President Duterte said it is the Western countries who prioritize profit when he mentioned about COVID-19 vaccines and slammed those who impose reservation fees. Who exactly are these pharmaceutical companies he was referring to? Are they US-based?
I suppose US-based din po, no? But there are at least two Western companies who have claimed to be on clinical trial third stage, no? That's the US and the UK.
Opo. How are the statements of the President going to affect current talks made with Western vaccine developers regarding COVID-19 vaccines since last week? The Department of Health said they are in talks with Pfizer and Moderna.
Wala naman po epekto yan. We continue to negotiate with everyone, as in fact, the President wants to ensure na magkakaroon tayo ng vaccine kahit sino pang unang makadevelop niyan. Thank you, Yusek. We go to Pierre Nada, please.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, just an update sana on the decision or the move to ban home quarantine. Has the IATF already consulted with LGUs, and did the President say anything about this proposal?
Well, same status po. It's held in abeyance ang decision until we have consulted with the LGUs. I'm not aware if there's been any consultations because it was only last Thursday naman po na it was held in abeyance. But I'm sure it will be discussed again today and in the future meetings.
Okay, sir, just following up again on the President's SALN, because it's been a year since the President submitted his 2018 SALN, and until now it hasn't been published. So may we ask what's taking it so long? And the President consistently promised to uphold transparency, and yet he's the first President not to publicize his SALN.
I do not know if that has not been made available, but what I'm sure about is it's been filed.
How about, sir, the 2019 SALN? You promised to check if it has been submitted.
I'm sure it's been submitted, but whether or not it will be made public is outside of the jurisdiction of my office. But I'll inquire from the Office of the Executive Secretary.
Sir, how come you haven't discussed this issue yet on the possibility of making this public? Because, sir, it's a public interest document, right? And the President has consistently said that he respects FOI and that he would like to encourage all officials to publicize their SALNs, but he himself isn't doing it. I mean, have you even discussed the reasons why it's been kept from the public for so long?
I don't think the President is keeping anything from the public. The fact is, he's the only branch of government that has in fact issued an executive order, #1 on transparency, and that is FOI in the executive branch of government. If you think it's not being made available to you, I enjoin you to resort to the EO1 in seeking the document that you want.
Yes, sir, we have done that several times.
Okay. Thank you.
Bayanihan laban sa COVID-19. DCXL 558 Radyo Trabaho Special Coverage.
Pride Bar, hindi lang puti, kiss na puti.
Pag nilaban sa Pride Bar Blue,